They are getting magicians, they are getting wise men, and they're like, can anybody tell us what these dreams mean for Pharaoh? Because they're freaking him out. And then all of a sudden, the cupbearer remembers Joseph. And he says, wait a second. There was someone in prison with me who was interpreting dreams. He can interpret this. He could do this. And listen to what Pharaoh says in verse 14 of 41. Then Pharaoh sent and called for Joseph, and they quickly brought him out of the pit. Hold on to that. And when he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I've had a dream and there is no one to interpret it. I've heard it said that you hear dreams and you can interpret them. And Joseph said to Pharaoh, it is not in me, but God will give you a favorable answer. So Joseph sitting here is like, oh yeah, that's actually something God put in me. Now let's back up just a second because I just passed right over it. Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they quickly brought him out of the pit. Isn't it crazy that the same reason that got Joseph thrown into a pit is the same reason that Joseph is now getting called out of a pit? That years before, Joseph's brothers hate him so much because of what? Because he's a dreamer. Because that's what the Lord put in him. And they can't stand it and they can't handle it. And they say, let's see what becomes of this guy's dreams. Let's see if these dreams ever really mean something. So they throw him into a pit. They strip him of his clothes. He ends up going to be a slave. He ends up going to be a prisoner. He's been in prison for so long. He has a beard. He has prison clothes on. And all of a sudden, Pharaoh's like, can anybody interpret a dream? Is there a dreamer? There's a dreamer in the pit. Get him out of the pit. Get him out of the pit. That's what I need. That's what I'm looking for, a dreamer. But you know what's crazy? These are the things that are really easy to read and really hard to live. Because for Joseph, it's easy to read this and be like, well, yeah, get out of the pit. You're a dreamer. Yeah, that's you. Except for with Joseph, you know how much shame would probably be attached to that word dreamer if it was me? You know how much insecurity? I'd be like, dreamer? That's why I'm here. That's what got me thrown into the pit in the first place. No, I'm not a dreamer. You know how hard it would be because of how much pain and how much hurt his own brothers hated him so much for because of that very reason, that very gift God put on his life. It would actually be something that you might feel a lot of shame for. You might feel a lot of insecurity around. You might feel a lot of misunderstanding around. People probably made fun of you for this very, very reason. But Joseph did not sit there wallow in the fact that he was misunderstood. He did not sit there bound in bitterness. He did not sit there and act like this was something that God didn't actually give him. He stepped in and said, oh yeah, my God put that in me. And that's what my God is going to do through me. And so many of us, friends, we are sitting in the pit, and God is calling us to do something. God has put something uniquely and amazingly in us. And guess what? I'm sure that's the very thing that the enemies come after. I'm sure that's the very thing that you get made fun of. Your big personality, or you talk so much, or you're so creative, it's weird, or whatever it is. It's the very thing that you're insecure about, and that's the thing that God uniquely made you for. And so why are we surprised? Why are we surprised that that's the thing that the enemy's coming after? Why are we surprised that that's the thing he wants to kill, steal, and destroy? Because if he can kill, steal, and destroy that, then he doesn't have to worry about all that you're going to do for the kingdom of God. But if when you hear that and you say, yeah, that might have been the thing that people made fun of me for, but that's the thing I was made to do, I will get out of the pit and I will use the gift that God has given me. But you know what else is cool? If Joseph did not use that gift in the pit, he would have never been able to do it in the palace. If Joseph did not sit there and interpret the dreams of the cupbearer and interpret the dreams of the baker, how would he have ever been elevated to the position to interpret the dreams of Pharaoh?